and you're listening to Mish at IPL Radio on Good Vibrations this Friday afternoon. Thank you for joining me. We've had a couple of song and technical issues today, but we've got over it, and we're going to start our interview now. So I have Madeleine Jong.
Yes.
I've had to say that twice now. Welcome.
It every time.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Now, I'm going to treat this as if I actually don't know much about you. So I don't. Let's just say I don't know anything about you. I am a home owner in the area. I work in the area. I volunteer in the area. My son's building a home in the area, so it's very important to me what's happening in the town. I would imagine a lot of people that go to vote in the next couple of weeks are like me. It's really just a name on a piece of paper, and it needs to be much more than that.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that I get the chance to listen to what's going on, because I definitely have before, and it's probably a high majority of people, I'd say. It really is a name. That name looks good. I'll just tick that one.
Yeah.
So tell me about you, and tell me why we should choose you.
Great. Well, thank you so much for having me, and what a great question to kick off with. It's something I've been speaking about a lot for the last couple of weeks. And you're absolutely right. I think a lot of people go to the polls with a party in mind, or values that they hold so deeply, and they might not necessarily know exactly who matches up with those values. I myself am a lifelong local to the Rockingham area as well. This place means the world to me. I think just about every single part of my life, in one way or another, has revolved around this amazing electorate, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
And as a local and as a community campaigner for many years, I'm so excited and honoured to be able to continue that work as a candidate in this very important by-election.
Absolutely.
As you say, so many locals have an opportunity, a rare opportunity, one that was definitely not expected by myself.
No, by anybody.
Yeah, a very rare opportunity, a real opportunity to send a clear message to the WA government on the issues that matter the most to them, and what they want done about them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So what is it that you are going to bring to the table?
Yeah, so I myself have been a part of the Greens for.
That's right. Sorry, I should have said that you're a Greens candidate.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yes.
Greens candidate. No, that's okay.
What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so as a Greens candidate, I'm part of the WA Greens Party standing in this election. It's my name on the ballot, and the party is the party that I'm standing for.
Yeah.
And I have loved every minute that I've spent working with or volunteering with the Greens. I have a pretty strong background with them for quite a number of years now.
Good.
And it's all been based within community work, which is such a love of mine, especially when I can support community members individually or community organisations to achieve the things that they didn't know that they could achieve through political means. It's something I'm really passionate about, whether it's funding, whether it's community outreach. Yeah, exactly. And it's communities, just like IPL Radio that deserve that kind of recognition from governments, because they provide such a support network and a supporting environment for community members that just doesn't exist without it.
No.
And so I would say that I think that I bring such a deep passion and love of community energy and activism to this kind of work. And I have such great joy when I see community bring their issues to Parliament and achieve things in political ways.
Absolutely.
It's really exciting.
Very empowering.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly.
And inspiring.
Totally.
Because IPL stands for Inspiring Passionate Lives.
Exactly.
And that's what you want to do.
Exactly. It's that passion, it's that inspiration that people can see, or that people can feel when they see somebody that is like them standing as a politician or representing them in some other public-facing way. It's such a unique opportunity, and I think it doesn't happen enough. And I think it's really exciting to be a part of a movement for political change and political cultural shifting change for a place like Rockingham that means so much to me at a time when the current government has such a total majority. It's really exciting to be able to push for change on the issues that matter the most.
I shouldn't say that. Let's hope that happens.
Yeah.
Change is good as a holiday.
Exactly.
They say.
Yeah, so, I think they're right, whoever that is.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder who that was. We should check on that. Yeah, that's really. As I said, I'm a home owner, etc. in the area. So I do. Obviously, I'm very interested in what's happening in the area. Crime is not a good thing in the area. Mental health issues. Obviously, my show is about mental health awareness, and I'm seeing a more of a need for assistance in those areas. I'll just tell you one quick story that happened to me last Friday. I've had a person, I'll say, been in for an interview with me on a couple of occasions, and I've known that they've had mental health issues. They rang me 5 minutes before my show had finished, so I wasn't able to answer the phone. So I thought I'd better ring them back. Rang them back immediately at 3 o'clock to find out that they were in desperate need of help. They were suicidal. Came into the studio here, and we chatted with them for about an hour and a half before we were able to get them to the hospital. We were at the hospital for 6.5 hours in emergency before we saw a doctor, and then thank goodness they were admitted into the mental health ward. But I was with that person for 9 hours. Don't even know this person. I've only met them twice. But because IPL is a safe place to be, they knew that they could come here or to give me a call. Yeah. So I felt proud that I was able to be that person, but I was also extremely sad that they had nobody else to contact, or maybe they had and no one else would pick up that phone. So mental health is a massive thing. The other thing too is that mental health ward, I believe, and you can let me know if I'm wrong, I believe there's only 20 beds available in that ward.
I think that's the number, and that number can't come close to scratching the surface.
You know what had happened to this hourly? What would happen to this person last week if they were said there's no beds available? I can tell you what would have happened. They would have gone back to the situation that they were in 9 hours earlier, and it may be a devastating effect. So 20 beds is horrendous.
It's just not enough. And I've seen very closely what happens when these public systems fail people.
Yeah.
And I've also seen what happens when these public systems can be a great success.
Absolutely.
And I think that at one end we've got hospitals that desperately need more funding, more support from governments, more money, more resourcing for beds, for staff, to be able to pay those staff appropriately. As you know, the nurses are still out there protesting.
When we were in ED, as I said, we were in ED for 6.5 hours. Once we got through the doors of the doctors' area, they were flat out, absolutely flat out. The doctors and the nurses in there they're angels. They really are angels. It's a hard job. They were very relaxed. I was really surprised. It's mayhem going around them, but they were very, very relaxed. It's amazing to watch them. But there's definitely has to be something with the hospitals. It's a major issue. And I was talking to Dad, who's dad of IPL here, and he is an elderly gentleman who suffers from a lot of health issues, but he won't go to the doctor. And the reason why is because no one's doing bulk billing anymore.
I know.
I've heard this so many times where they can't afford to go to a doctor at $90.
It's horrendous. And if we can go down that path for a moment around the Medicare, you know, our federal Greens team have been working to revolutionise Medicare and include dental care in Medicare and include mental health in Medicare as top absolute priorities. And also to redo the system that our GPs are being paid under, because if a GP can't afford to offer bulk billing, that's a total failure of the medical system.
And then you'll find that the people that can offer the bulk billing, they're so busy, you can't get an appointment with them anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Or they've closed their books.
Or they've closed their books. They're not taking any more. But I've heard it a number of times, and my mum and dad also, they can't afford to go to the doctor yet they're ill. They need to see a doctor. Yeah. That's so not right for our seniors. Right. It's really not right.
No,
I think seniors, this is over 65 or whatever the senior classification is, they should have free medical assistance. Yeah, absolutely.
I think Medicare should exist to provide free medical care to whoever needs to access it who's living in Australia at the time. Yeah. And I think it's certainly a federal issue, but it's one that's so close to my heart, knowing that the level of support people receive for mental health issues or mental ill health rather, at the hospital end of that spectrum is so minimal, because there's just not the funding, there's not the resources for staff, and there's just not enough space to support
it just seems to be going backwards. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not intellectual enough to know what's going on, but it just seems to be going backwards.
I think part of the problem with that perspective, and I think you're right, is that the funding increases in these areas don't match up with the increase in the need for those areas.
There's 100% need.
Yeah, people are desperate and distressed by the current situation with cost of living, with housing, with so many economic crises that people are facing. It's really distressing. Yeah. And I think the government's funding while it is increasing for mental health support services, it doesn't match up with the demand, and it's just going to continue down that way. The gap's going to continue to widen between who can and cannot access support, unless there's a dramatic increase.
It has to be dramatic.
Yeah, it has to be so dramatic. It does. And it doesn't have to just be for hospitals, as we were saying before when we were having a chat while we were experiencing technical issues.
Sorry, we've already had it. Turn the mics on.
As we were saying, this the earlier we can reach people to speak about the issues that they're facing, whether they're life or mental ill health issues, whether it's circumstantial like housing, or a family issue, whatever that looks like. I think there has to be ways for us to reach out to community before they reach the hospital.
I also believe they should be teaching mental health awareness in schools.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And first aid should be. Do they do first aid in school?
I think they did it at a year 12 level, perhaps. Okay. For some, perhaps.
But I think, because we actually do a mental health first aid certificate here in IPL. I think that's important. I think first aid is important. I think mental health awareness, because by the time you leave school, you've gone through all that stress of studying, etc. You're 17 when you walk out that door. If you'd had some assistance before that, maybe we can get it before it gets too out of hand.
Absolutely, and I think you've illustrated the critical value of a mental health first aid response.
Definitely. And I've done my first aid course, my mental health first aid course here at IPL, and that's really the only qualification that I had. So it was more the fact that I am a support worker as well in the area. So I sort of had that background too. But to know that IPL was a safe, I use the word safe because it is a safe place, and people know it's a safe place. We would like to be able to expand that and have like maybe a room that we can have people in for comfort or something like that would be fantastic. But that gave me more of a reason to be coming in here, and it was sad, but good as well.
I think I would definitely say to any listeners, if you haven't been into this space, it's just amazing.
Our doors are usually open, so please come in and check us out, because we always want volunteers as well, because more volunteers obviously we can give out more help, but we're very...
You can count me in.
Yeah, thanks. She's coming back. I wanted to come back. I'll be back. So, definitely. But it's really important to have a space. But there's so many people out there, sadly, have no friends, no family to fall back on. And you really need somebody to just listen.
Yep, you desperately need that peer support in your life.
We were talking about peer support before, right?
If it's not family or friends, I think a community organisation.
And another thing I've found out too is a lot of people struggle with their mental health assistance because it's very white jacket, white coat. So a place like IPL is very relaxed. There's couches, there's just us.
Definitely.
So they feel more comfortable to talk about. Like this person I was speaking to last week. I got 9 hours of constant talk because they had nobody to talk to, and so that's what IPL is all about. So they can be comfortable in here, let out what they need to without having the thought of a doctor sitting in front of them or medical assistance, because that is confronting in itself.
It is, and I've found similar responses to people who have called up. When I used to work in Senator Jong's office as a community campaigner, as a community advocate, which I absolutely loved. And being able to continue that work into Canada in a space that I love so much is just such an honour.
That's brilliant.
But back then it was a similar experience where we had phone calls from community members who were in such distress, and whether that was financial or mental distress, it was our phone lines in our office were such a safe space, and it still is such a safe space. I should use the past tense. It's still there. It's a wonderful place. But it is such a safe space, and I think people need those community centres to go to where they feel comfortable to speak to somebody that isn't going to be judgmental.
No judgment.
Isn't going to cost them their life savings to get help.
And that puts a lot of people off. They can pay for it.
I know. It should be free. It should be completely free every step of the way, in my opinion.
The community is very, very important. There's a lot of, since doing the radio, I've noticed a huge amount of community assistance for groups. There's one I went to recently, a Circle of Friends.
Okay.
Have you heard of Circle of Friends?
I haven't actually.
It's where male or female, they just go to like Dome or something, and it's a certain time they all go, and you can sit and just have a chat.
I love
about
that.
anything.
I love that.
You don't have to talk about anything, issues. You just sit and chat, no judgment whatsoever. So if you please listen out for the Circle of Friends. They're on Facebook.
But that in itself is a mental health intervention.
Exactly.
It's prevention at work.
Exactly. So it's more of those type of things need to happen.
Absolutely.
And again, that's a safe place and a non-clinical area for them to be in.
Yeah.
I've actually had a lot of men's groups coming around lately, just for men, which is brilliant because they're very bad at mental health awareness. They don't want to talk about it at all.
Yeah.
So that's really good. So there is more happening.
Yeah.
But it's people doing it for themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's like Joe Blow off the street thinking something needs to be done here.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
not coming from anywhere else. And again, funding is an issue.
That's the big one, is that when community is leading these initiatives, and I firmly believe that community should lead these initiatives because they know what the issues are and they know the people that need the support.
Because each community has their own issues.
Exactly, And a place like IPL, as an example of this, is so great because there's so many people from so many backgrounds that are showing themselves as the face of those to the community. And it just creates that safe space even further.
Definitely.
And I do think the community needs to be leading that, and they're doing such a good job at it. But the government has to back them up. There needs to be funding to make sure that good work continues because it literally saves lives.
We're only touching the surface from what we can, or what we're able to do.
Totally.
The government needs to be able to do something so we can take it a little bit further, take it that further on, because we're only touching the surface here and we want to do so much more. But
there is so much work to do.
There's so much more work to do. And I think mental health is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
It is, and I think as long as these rates continue to rise and rents continue to rise unchecked, it's just going to continue happening. Rental, I know that Perth itself, the metro area of Perth, has risen higher than any other place in the country.
Insane.
It blows my mind that it's gone up so much, and you can just see this never-ending cycle of it increasing and people having to leave their homes.
Homeless.
And I think that in itself is mental health.
Absolutely.
Promotion is keeping people housed, keeping a roof over their head. And one thing we're actually calling for at a state level as the Greens is for WA Labor to enact a rental increase freeze right now.
Brilliant.
Like urgently. It needs to happen immediately. We saw WA Labor use their total majority during the health crisis to do a similar thing where they had a moratorium on evictions for rentals.
Yeah. Yes.
So we know that they have the power to do this.
Absolutely.
And they're just not doing it. And we're going to continue to call for that as loudly as we possibly can because
absolutely brilliant.
That freeze on rental hikes is going to save lives, and we're going
to literally will save a life.
Exactly.
It really will. How can people get hold of you if they want to know any more?
Yeah, I've got a candidate Facebook page, Madeleine Jong for Rockingham. It's up on Facebook. I think my email is on that page. We've got a state party office at the WA Greens up in the city, and they're always contactable as well. But I'm more than happy to have a chat with anybody online.
And you're floating around the community currently?
I am all the time.
Rotary Markets on Sunday.
Yeah, that's it. I will be there. I'll see you there at the sausage sizzle tomorrow.
I'll just spell out your name because the way it sounds, it doesn't.
I know.
Definitely not the way. And maybe you can spell it for us.
Sure. Yes. So if you look me up on Facebook, it's Madeleine, and then my last name is DeYoung, DE_JONG. I almost spelt YOUNG just then because you've got it written down, but no, we're okay.
That's the only way I can pronounce it properly. So
it's a good method.
It spells DEJONG, but it's actually pronounced DeYoung.
Yeah, that's right. And that's really me on Facebook.
And you're very open to have a discussion.
Absolutely.
There's also a debate coming up with IPL.
I'm so excited.
There's going to be 6 candidates. Is that right?
I think so.
6 candidates for the by-election for Rockingham, and that's going to be next weekend, I believe.
This Sunday
afternoon.
This Sunday. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
So that should be exciting, and we're going to be broadcasting that, I think, as well. So that'll be fantastic.
So we'll all be at the markets in the morning, and then we're
going to be flat out. Yeah, so hamburgers and bacon and egg rolls in the morning.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds great. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you coming in. I've loved meeting you.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
Thank you.
You've got a lot to offer, and I think it's fantastic that the younger people are getting involved.
Me too.
Because that's where it starts.
Absolutely. It's really showing how important this political shift for change is happening at such a local level in a place I love so much.
Yeah. You know what? I always say, because Rockingham is a beautiful place.
It is.
But don't tell too many people.
I know.
We don't want too many people to know. We don't want it to be like Mandurah either.
No.
Just don't tell anyone.
No. Someone told me the other day that they thought, Rockingham's the Cottesloe of the south. And I said, no, Cottesloe's the Rockingham of the north.
There you go. But so although we love Rockingham, it's okay for us locals to say that, but no one else needs to know.
Keep it a secret.
Keep it a secret. It's our secret. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with the debate and good luck with everything. I'll be listening and following you. So what number are you on the paper?
5th, actually, right in the middle. Can't miss me.
Can't miss you. Okay, great. Thank you so much. And we'll go to another song. Cheers.